Hi there and welcome back to Mommy Hates Cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make this easy Ninja Foodi Carrot Cake. You can make this in your Ninja Foodi multi-cooker and it's also doable gluten-free as well. So if you need that, you can do that too. Just use the all-purpose gluten-free flour. So let's get our ingredients. You're going to need 1.5 cups of sugar, 1 cup of oil, 2.5 tablespoons of hot water, and 3 eggs, along with 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 cups of gluten-free or regular all-purpose flour, which is a 1-to-1 swap with regular flour, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Then you'll need 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a pinch of salt, and 1 cup of grated carrots, which is about 2 carrots, and 1 cup of chopped walnuts, plus you'll want a few to garnish with. For the frosting, you'll need 1 stick of unsalted butter softened, 8 ounces of cream cheese softened, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. So this is what you're going to need for this cake. If you want to make this in the oven and you want to do a traditional carrot cake, I'll link to that in the show notes below as well. So the first thing you're going to do is mix together the sugar, oil, hot water, eggs, and baking soda. So that is what I'm getting together here. And you'll have to bear with me. I'm not one that usually has everything out. I'm normally grabbing it as I go and then putting it back. I don't know why I do that, but that's just how I do things. So I'm getting everything and then gathering it up here and putting it in. So once I get all of that mixed together, I'll go ahead and add in the drier ingredients. Now be sure you do add this in the order I'm telling you, because with baking, things don't work out whenever you mix up the order. It just has to be done a certain way in order for it to get the right consistency. So I'm going to mix together all of these ingredients, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in my flour. And with the flour, I'm using gluten-free here. If you're using regular, that's fine too. Just make sure with your gluten-free flour, it's an even swap with the regular, which is why I say a 1-to-1 flour. So then you'll add in the cinnamon, baking powder, nutmeg, and salt, all in here. I do suggest either using a handheld mixer or a stand mixer. This is not the easiest thing to mix by hand, so much easier if you have a handheld or a stand mixer. Either one will work perfectly. You'll definitely want one of those when we do the icing or the frosting later as well. That's really the best way to get the consistency right with the frosting, is to use a high-speed mixer. So the handheld is the one I'll be using here later that I'll show you, but you can use your stand mixer too. So I'm adding in the cinnamon and nutmeg and the salt, and then I'm going to whisk it all together. While that's whisking together, you can go ahead and grate the carrots. It usually is about 2 whole carrots to get 1 cup for this recipe, and then you're going to fold the carrots in. So don't mix them with the handheld or the stand mixer. Just fold them in lightly with a spatula, and then you can fold in the walnuts too. Now you don't have to use nuts if you don't want to, so that's optional as well. So I'm just going to keep folding this in. You can see what the consistency is there. It's kind of it's not super liquid of a cake. I mean, you can obviously easily mix these in, but you're going to kind of spread it around in the pan. So for this, I did use a greased bundt pan, and I used coconut oil to spray in this, just some spray to make sure it didn't stick. Now you are going to put that on a wire trivet in the lowest position, and then put that inside your multi-cooker. So that is what I've done here. And then I'm going to choose the bake roast function and bake at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. Now this cake comes out very moist, for lack of a better word, and you have to let it fully cool. So you're going to want to let it sit out for a few minutes, and then you'll carefully release it from the pan, and then you'll let it cool completely on a wire rack or on your cake stand. Wherever you're going to serve it is fine. Now when it comes out, you're probably going to notice that your Ninja Foodi is uneven. It doesn't cook as even as you had thought. So that's normal. It's not going to be burnt, but it's going to be browned probably in one spot. I've noticed I had a different Ninja Foodi. I had the older one previously, and that one cooked more even than the new one. So you're going to find that out whenever you make this, but it turns out just fine. but you need to let the cake fully cool. Just remember, fully cooled cake. It will harden up as it's cooling, so it's kind of completing that baking process while it's cooling. So now we're going to go ahead and prepare the frosting, which you can be doing this as well while the cake is cooking too, which is normally what I do. So you'll need a large mixing bowl, and then you're going to combine your butter and your cream cheese and your powdered sugar and your vanilla all in this bowl. And then I'm using a handheld mixer to whip this up. So it's going to take a minute or two to get to the right consistency. Now this icing is delicious. You're going to want the icing. Don't skip it. It's a cream cheese icing, and it really makes the whole cake. And so you want to do the icing, you want to get it right, and so you really need to take some time there and get the consistency correct. It doesn't take long, it just takes maybe a minute or two. And it is a little messy with all that powdered sugar, but it will come out perfect. So I'm finishing that up, and I'm using the mixer here to get that nicely mixed together. It's honestly satisfying to see it come together whenever you start with just blocks of cream cheese and butter and it turns into this delicious icing or frosting, whichever you want to call it. So anyways, I'm getting this done, and then I am going to go ahead and frost my cooled cake. Now there's enough frosting that you can do a crumb coat if you want, and then let that harden in the fridge for a little bit before you do the final coat. It's totally up to you here. And I used a Ninja cake pan this time. Normally I use a different one, and I'm going to link to both of them. I actually kind of like the other one better. It gives it a better shape, I feel like, than the Ninja one did. This one is more flat. The other one gives it more of that bundt cake look, which I like better. So I will show you that as well. So anyways, now I am just adding on the walnuts, and then we're going to serve it. So as you can see, like I was saying, this one's more flat. So in my pictures, if you go to the blog post, I used the other pan, so they are more of a bundt cake look, which I like better, like I said. So it's up to you on which one you use. But now you can see this is the finished cake, and I'm going to pull that slice right out of here. It is delicious. It's not a hard cake, but we like to put this in the fridge. So there it is. This is the pictures with the other pan. So as you can see, it's a little different shape. But it is delicious, very easy to make, great one for Easter. And I hope you enjoyed learning how to make it. So you can learn more or see the whole recipe over on mommyhatescooking.com. Thanks for joining in today to learn how to make the Ninja Foodi Carrot Cake. And I hope you like or subscribe so that you do not miss the next video. Thanks again.